Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is Nick with August Sun Productions, and today I'll be teaching you 3 basic concepts you need to know in order to master any camera. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to brush up on your skills, understanding ISO, shutter speed, and aperture is essential for capturing stunning images. Let's start with ISO. ISO measures the sensitivity of your camera's sensor to light. A lower ISO, like 100 or 200, is ideal for well-lit conditions. Basically, if you have enough light in your scene, you don't need to raise the ISO. On the other hand, if you're in a low-light situation, raising the ISO can brighten your scene without you having to physically add more light on set. But there is one downside. As you increase the ISO, you also increase the amount of noise and grain in your image. Now, let's talk about shutter speed. Shutter speed determines how long your camera's sensor is exposed to light. Fast shutter speeds, like 1/1000th of a second or 1/500th of a second, capture motion quickly. For example, capturing action shots with little to no motion blur. Slower shutter speeds, like 1/30th of a second or 1/15th of a second, introduce more motion blur to an image because the shutter is open for a longer period of time. Slow shutter speeds can be very useful for creative photography, especially when you want to use motion blur in order to create some cool effects. Now you're probably wondering, what shutter speed should I use? Well, for filmmaking, the general rule is that your shutter speed should be double your frame rate. So for example, the standard for filmmaking is 24 frames per second. So double that, and we have 1/48th of a second for your shutter speed. Last but not least, there's aperture. Aperture controls the size of your lens's opening. A wide aperture, like f1.8 or f2.8, creates a shallow depth of field, isolating your subject while blurring out the background. In other words, your subject is in focus and the background is blurred out. Now on the other hand, a narrow aperture, say f16 or f22, increases the depth of field, keeping more of the scene in focus. It will also make your image overall darker because as the lens gets smaller, it also lets in less light. And there you have it. ISO, shutter speed, and aperture are the building blocks of videography and photography. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more filmmaking tips, and leave any questions or suggestions in the comments below. Until next time, keep capturing those amazing moments.